All right, my absolute favorite go-to rib mobility drill is rib cage cars, and it's controlled articular rotations, which means we're going to use the muscles that move the joints, and we're going to try to stabilize and fix the joints, the areas of the body that want to help out. Now, in overall big movements, great that the shoulders and the pelvis want to help out the rib cage move, but if we don't ever isolate the rib cage doesn't learn how to move. And so then it becomes stiff, which then leads to the shoulder issues, which can lead to hip issues, which can lead to low back issues. So we want to make sure that we mobilize the rib cage by isolating the rib cage. And the way this works is we're going to move the joint through all the rotations possible, right? And we're going to keep the hips fixed and the shoulders fixed as best as possible. Now, these first few times, don't beat yourself up if your shoulders move a little bit, if your hips move a little bit. You're just trying your best to fix it, okay? So the way this sets up is you want to take your feet a little bit wider than your shoulders. I used to teach this a little bit narrower, but I feel like this does a better job of fixing the pelvis. And then from here, I want you to imagine you have a really tight hula hoop just below your rib cage. And everything below wants to join the party. Don't let it join the party, okay? We're going to move everything from here up to the shoulders. So the way this works is we're going to rotate around, but the hips are going to want to move. Don't let them move. The shoulders are going to want to do this. Don't let them lift, okay? So you're going to cross and grab opposite shoulders. Elbows into the rib cage, into the chest, and you're going to hold them here. Now, you want to curl. Again, we have the hula hoop on. Curl your chest over the hula hoop and hold it here, right? Imagine now that you have a coat hanger between your shoulder blades. So I want you to lift up between your shoulder blades as if you're trying to put the coat hanger on the rack. And then once it's on the rack, kind of dangle yourself there. Now, right shoulder into right front pocket just a little bit more. The back of your left shoulder, lift that up. Again, don't let the hips move at all. And then from here, right shoulder into your right back pocket. Your hips are going to want to press forward. Try not to let that pull forward. And then from here, lift the chest up as you roll both shoulders into your back pockets. Left shoulder into left back pocket. Left shoulder into front pocket. Both shoulders into both pockets. Pause. Hang yourself on the coat rack again. And then again, right shoulder into right pocket. Right shoulder in the back pocket. Again, the hips really want to get involved. Don't let it. Both shoulders roll into both pockets without the hips pressing forward. Left shoulder into left pocket. Left shoulder into front pocket. Both shoulders into both pockets. Dangle yourself. And then do one more in this direction. Right. Again, control the movements as we go around. And then once you get back to center, dangle yourself from the coat rack and then pause for a moment. Again, what happens a lot, this is what I see a lot when I first teach this, is people get so worked up on fixing the pelvis that they actually don't move that much. So it looks like this, right? Both shoulders into both pockets, right shoulder into right pocket, right shoulder into back pocket, both shoulders into both pockets. And they do these tiny little circles. Not terrible, because they're doing a really good job. It's my fault, right? I told them to fix the pelvis. They're fixing the pelvis. But I want you to try to create more movement. So the hips may move just a little bit. But then once you feel that more movement, that's when we want to try to keep the hips flexed. So what I mean by that is I'm going to curl down. My butt's going to pop backwards. So I'm going to drop back and come up and kind of find a sweet spot. And then right shoulder's going to go into right pocket. Again, my hips may move. My hips may move forward just a little bit, but I'm going to try to, at best, create a balance between movement and pelvis. What I don't want is this, because I can move so much more if my butt gets moving, if my pelvis gets moving. But the thing is, the reason why we don't want the pelvis to move is you have muscles that connect pelvis to rib cage. And when we twist, let's say in yoga, right, the pelvis comes with us. So these muscles don't tend to stretch as much as if I take this muscle right, your oblique, which it connects here. If I go here versus here, right? They don't get that same amount of movement. So let's go in the opposite direction. You can switch opposite arm in front, right? Curl the elbows into the chest. Both shoulders into both pockets. Try not to let the butt, again, find more movement. If the butt pops back, just drop back in, okay? And then left shoulder into left back pocket. Lift the back of your right shoulder up as you drop your left shoulder. And then left shoulder into your back pocket. Again, if your pelvis goes forward, that's good. You're finding more movement, just pull it back. And then both shoulders in the back pockets. Lift the chest up so we don't just kind of hinge in the low back. And then right shoulder into right pocket. Right shoulder into front pocket. Both shoulders into both pockets. And then two more in this direction. Okay, 2 more in this direction to find your movement. So what we're doing is we're taking all of the muscles that move the rib cage and we rotate it, okay? It's critical that if you want to have healthy shoulders, you have a mobile rib cage. It's critical if you want healthy hips to have a mobile rib cage. Same thing with the low back. The rib cage tends to get really stuck because we don't move all day, right? And then when we come to yoga, we take these big movements, right? I'm gonna go into a back bend, which means that my shoulders are gonna get involved, my pelvis is gonna come with me. That's a good thing for those poses. But the problem is the rib cage never gets that isolation, right? It always stays like this, where the muscles don't really expand all that much, versus I'm here, right? Versus I'm here, okay? So work the cars, do them every single day. I recommend 3 to 5 in each direction. Experiment with a little bit more movement. Maybe the pelvis joins the party just a little bit, but what we're trying to do is keep it as fixed as possible while still being able to find as much rotation as possible. Give it a go. Leave a comment if you liked it. Subscribe. Right, I got these videos coming out every week, giving you little tips and techniques to better your body and better your practice.